Greetings, everybody. It's always a pleasure having you here, where we get to talk about how to trade the proper way using price action, support, and resistance. Right? So, today we're going to be looking at the cable, which is known as GBPUSD. We're going to just do a quick rundown analysis as we have been doing of late. We have been doing multi-time frame analysis approach for also have a better understanding of what is happening on different time frames, right? So if you look at what we have right in front of us, you obviously can see the monthly time frame, and you can see some boxes. Yes, these boxes are to show you consolidation areas, right? Whenever you have consolidation areas, just know that price most likely is going to get to the highs of the consolidation or get to the lows of the consolidation, right? And in this case, you can see for years, yes, because this is the monthly time frame. For years, we've been having consolidation, just like on this GBPUSD. For years, since about 2015 till now, that's about 7 years thereabout, we've been having nothing but consolidations. But look at what the price is doing now. It seems to be heading lower, and that means that before you know it, we should get to this area of interest at about 1.16 lows. Yes, let's just call it about 1.16 lows. And of course, that means that from where it is now all the way there, that's about 800 pips to the downside. That simply means that we should be able to make 800 pips on this cable if our monthly analysis is correct. And who knows, it might as well break out in a much heavy manner. If you look at what happened over here, we had a big breakout here, and then at times you tend to have some big significant breakouts of those areas. If you look very well, you tend to have some significant big size candle, so it could even easily be more than 800 pips, and that is from the monthly time frame. So the question now is, how do we follow in this direction to the downside? We cross over to the weekly, and then this is what we have. From the weekly time frame, you can see that with this vertical line, this is showing us the price action for this year. Yes, indeed. This is the price action for this year thus far. And you can see that it is obviously down. It is obviously bearish. So from what we have over here, now we have marked out our areas of support and resistance. As we said earlier, we're big strictly on price action, support, and resistance. And you can see some areas here of support, resistance, resistance, support, 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 support. You would always find this kind of support resistance method on every time frame. Resistance, resistance, support. So that means that now that it has broken out of this former support, now it should act as resistance. That means that we should be looking for a pullback to this area, and then this will now give us that our short opportunity down for this place where we're calling it about 800 pips. But this time around, let's see, it should be more than 800 pips if it pulls back. If it pulls back to this area, going down, we should have about 1,200 pips. And that's why it's always good for a breakout retest kind of play. And that's what we have over here. And of course, we have another trouble area before it gets to the lows over here. We have a trouble area showing support, support, some support, support. And this wick over here, you can see it still obeyed this area of the support as well. So we could have a short play from here all the way down to this place, and you can TP for about 700, or see if it gets down to this area for about 1,200 pips. And we're looking at the higher time frame. That means that with the higher time frame analysis, it means that of course you are going to be looking at a lot of pips, right? But then let's see how we can reduce our entry some more, right? Because of course, if you drop down in time frames, you should be able to get a discounted entry, right? We should even give you that same amount of take profit pips, right? So this is the daily time frame. You can see is getting cleaner and clearer now based on what the market is doing and what we want to do. If you look very closely, you'd always notice that at one point in time, price always came back to test. Every time it broke out, like when it broke out here, price always came back to test these areas of former support. You see that price is always coming to test the areas of former support. Former support price came to test it. Now we have former support here. That means that this should act as resistance. So this is where we're waiting for the market to pull back for us to get our entry somewhere around here. So it's all about patience at the end of the day. Speaking of patience, the market has been a bit dull, right, this week thus far. And of course, we know today being Wednesday, 4th of May, today we have the FOMC coming out later. Well, before the FOMC coming out later, by 7 p.m. UK time, we have the ADP, right, which is like the pre-NFP data release coming out later, early afternoon as well, before Friday's non-farm payroll release for the dollar. So of course, the market has been quiet, and this is how the market normally plays out before heavy news comes out. Moving over to the 4-hour time frame, you can see we use boxes again to show those areas of consolidation. And what always happened after consolidation, you notice there's always a breakout. So that's what we're expecting over here as well. And then hopefully we could even have, like when we had consolidation here, we had a pullback to this area of box. So we could have a pullback maybe to this area of little box over here before dropping down, or we could have a pullback to this major area of boxed to it dropping down. Because from what I just showed you now on this 4-hour time frame, and I'm going to say this, and you might need to play back this particular area. You know, we said we've been waiting for price on the daily time frame to come back to about 1 point. Let's just approximate this to the 1.3 psychological round number. And of course, if you see that on the 4 hours as well, that's around here as well. But at times, you might notice that maybe on the 4 hours time frame, it might just pull back to a particular area and then drop. It didn't get there. It didn't get there. Why? Because there was another area of interest on another time frame, this one here, right? It might not be as strong as this, but it might still hold because the sellers are heavily in control, as you can tell by this downtrend. So you need to ensure that you don't have any how will I put it now? You don't have any level left out, and that's why we're doing a multi-time frame analysis approach to give you different views of the market from different angles. Now, that's why I said you need to watch this over and over again, right? And then look at what we have over here. You can see we have another boxed out area, right, of consolidation. That means that most likely the price should come down here, or it could even come up, as we said earlier, and get up to this place or this place before dropping down. But whatever the case might be, we need to look at the highs and the lows of this new consolidation. If you can look at the market in a very simplified manner, trust me, things will start to get clearer and clearer and clearer. And of course, another clue that you might also have of where the price wants to go, you could have some clues of like lower highs in this manner. You can see you have lower highs giving you heads up that, hey, the price most likely is going down. And you can see we have a lower high after this main high from the consolidation, right? And then who knows, it might come down a bit, make another one, and then drop, giving us another lower high. So you need to look at the possibilities of a lot of things happening, and then when you see it, you have a good enough idea of what the price wants to do at that moment in time. Also looking at the 1 hour time frame, you can see the boxed out area that we already picked up. Here they are again in a much clearer view. So this 1 hour, as I said, throughout this week, it has been consolidating, most likely because of the news coming out. That's what normally happens when you're about to have high impact news coming out in the market. But then our bias right from the monthly, if you remember, starting from the monthly time frame, our bias is down, is bearish. Weekly, bearish, waiting for a pullback. That is daily, bearish, waiting for a pullback. 4 hours, the same thing, because of what has been happening, because of the trend, even the 1 hour. So you need to know how to analyze the market much in depth. You need to be able to analyze the market in an in-depth manner to have a better understanding. And trust me, you are good to go. Maybe in the future analysis of other instruments, we could start to go down to the 5 minutes time frame to have a better understanding, so that you could even have a much better discounted entry with a very minute stop loss, still targeting that same take profit of about maybe 700 or 1,200 pips. Imagine being able, listen to this carefully, because this is how to become the ultimate trader. Yes, this is how to become the ultimate trader. When you can get an entry, let's even say about 10 pips, right? 10 pips stop loss. You get an entry of about 10 pips stop loss, and then you are holding it for about 700 to about 1,200 pips. What does that mean? That means that yes, indeed, you have arrived. And how many of these type of trades do you need in a month or in a quarter or in a year? That simply means that you now start to practice better patience. Lots of traders lack that aspect of patience and discipline. FOMO, fear of missing out. They always jump into the market. But then you need to let the market come to you. Let the market give you opportunities. Today is Wednesday, and I'm yet to get a position in the market. I'm not bothered. Why? Because by the time I get that one position, trust me, it's going to take care of the waiting period. I repeat, it's going to take care of the waiting period. I just saw this now, so let me just mark this here. Let's do a copy and paste of this. And you can see we have some highs over here, but this is not of interest, of course, because this has been from a way back a long time. And of course, before the market decides to climb all the way there, that's going to be crazy, right? So we have the bias to the downside. Let's pay attention. Let's see what we can make out of the market. Now, if you want to learn how to trade using price action, support and resistance, simple price action, support and resistance strategy, that is, in the description below, you have a link to the free 3 days training that we conduct on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays from the beginning of London session. And we also have the Sunday webinar where we talk about the past trades that we've taken for the week. So as I said earlier, I haven't taken any trade yet. But if I get any trade, of course, we're going to discuss it on Sunday. So on Sunday, we'll talk about the past trades for this week, and of course, talk about the future trade opportunities for next week, so that we are ahead of what the market wants to do. If the market wants to go up, we have a plan for it. If the market wants to go down, we have a plan for it, because we had planned earlier, right before the market opened for next week. So if you have any question whatsoever, you can comment in the section below, ask a question. If you are new to this channel, CSAFOREX, common sense approach to forex trading, I want to believe everything we'll be talking about now has made that much sense and you have gotten value. Yes, of course, you must have gotten value from this video that you have watched, right? So if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, so once a new video like this is dropped, you get it first and foremost, and then you can take advantage of it. So give it a thumbs up. You can also share it to as many people as possible. Let them know that, hey, there's a very easy and straightforward way to learn this business, and that is with CSAFOREX channel. Thank you guys. It has indeed been a pleasure, and see you same time next week. Oh, sorry, see you tomorrow. I'm going to do another video tomorrow. But see you next time. Enjoy yourself, and of course, trade safely. There's going to be volatility today. Please pay attention. Make sure you have your stop loss in place and you calculate your risk management appropriately. Thank you guys. It has indeed been a pleasure. Enjoy the rest of the day. Goodbye and God bless.